Hello friends, Hobo Sabbath here once again. It's a beautiful fall day where I'm at, and lots of beautiful colors. But one thing I wanted to kind of talk a bit about, just let it roll off my mind, things I'm thinking about, is how video games and comic books and toys and all these things are giving me a lot of hope, in a weird way. And what I mean by that is, let me get a little bit further in that idea, is like right now, like I've lost the majority of all my things. Like I'm living basically very minimal, and I don't have a lot of possessions. So the idea of getting into collecting and getting into a form of possessions is interesting, but that's why I'm doing it in the sense of barter and trade and deals and stuff. So it's not going to be financially hinder my lifestyle in a sense, keep it within my budget and stuff, and just let it go organically. Because, in some ways, I will say is that there's a part of me that is absolutely preparing mentally as best I can with the idea of that I could become homeless. It's happening more and more as time goes on. There's more and more people becoming more and more homeless, and the fact that now it's like you can see it everywhere. Here in the city, you can see camps and little settlements and stuff all over the city, abandoned sleeping bags and stuff like that. It's all over the city. It's like not a secret anymore. But I always think to myself, I am so close myself, and so many people are. I know so many people that are just barely keeping it together in terms of paying your bills and just surviving. It's just one little thing to derail you, hiccup in the plan, and places getting bought out all the time. So even though you've had a place for a long time and your rent's reasonable, the way businesses are buying up land and then rebuilding, and then as soon as they're rebuilt, the price is astronomical. So that's happening more and more. So it's making it basically impossible to even pay rent here. So the idea of being homeless is that much more real, because I can't spend no $2,000 plus utilities plus, it's just not within my means at the moment. It's not for many people. So again, that's another reason why I wanted to get into something like this with barter and trade, because in times of struggling, it's good to build up a bit of a community where you can trade food and services. So somebody's got a garden, and because but I'm selling games and comics, but that's just because that's something I'm just so absolutely passionate about, and I think that's all that matters, is find something you're passionate about. But somebody might want to trade one of my comic books for some milk and some eggs at some point, and that's a good trade, something like that. Barter and trade. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But so with all that kind of being said, though, in terms of things being very difficult, I'm trying to find a different way to possibly find a way to survive, through this journey with this, because I don't have anything planned. Like I'm really just starting from scratch, So it either go more downhill, or it start going up, and things start to improve. You just never know how these things, why things happen in your life the way they do, So I just look at it like it's a beautiful life lesson, and what can I do with my time, in a good way, instead of complaining about how bad everything is. But I mean, That's just not. It gets on your mind, but at the same time, that's why I got to make these videos too, because they make me happy. They give me some sort of purpose, and going out and doing some art, you know, it makes you feel good. So I find this is kind of like the Renaissance times, right? The rich are very wealthy, control a lot of the power and stuff, and then you got the artists and stuff, and there's a movement, you know, because usually through a lot of strife and struggles, it comes out in the culture at some point, through the music, through the art, through all that stuff. So, you know, you might get your next generation of like Da Vinci or Michelangelo or Jim Lee, you know, or just, yeah. So, you know, it's another thing too. That's just the art that comes from certain circumstances and whatever. So, I think that's another thing too, is going out there and meeting other people and seeing. But it's like, it's crazy. Just everywhere I look in this city, there's high-rise buildings like that were never there before. Like the whole like feeling of this city. It's so weird to be part of a city that's growing this fast, when like literally neighborhoods are being torn down and then being rebuilt from the ground up with this whole nother, like these buildings here. Like, mind you, there was nothing there before. They actually just filled in all that land from the water. So it's incredible. It's hard to keep track of, like, to live in a city that's changing this fast. Like, it's just wild. The construction everywhere you go. So many accidents and so many people. Everybody's in a panic, and you can feel the congestion when you're out in the world, man. Like right now, it's wild. But it's also quite beautiful, though, at the same time too. You know, we're in that season of fall. Lots of change, right? So we're going through a lot of change. But we all know nothing stays the same forever, you know. This will move on somehow, and it'll all be well again. But we do live in interesting times, you know. So that's why it's good to talk to each other, be on the road and have community, and that's why I love flea markets and get-togethers, and, you know, just get out and chat. You know, there's so many people that are feeling similar things, you know. I've had so many really good, random, good conversations with, like, strangers. Like, I could be waiting for a bus sometimes, and somebody come and they'll sit and wait, and then we get into a hello, and then we get into a 20-minute conversation. Nothing in particular, you know, but it's just wonderful to have those, you know. And then they catch their bus and off they go. But anyway, I get to get going here. I'm just kind of thinking out loud, but, you know, we live in interesting times, friends. Let me know down below how you guys are feeling about, like, surviving, and what options are happening for you, and how you feel about all this, you know, in terms of your art. You know, what kind of art are you making through your frustrations, or, you know. Alright, friends, until next time. My arms are just killing me holding this camera so long, you know. I got my headphones and my Transformers book, so I don't want it to get wet no more. I got my sandwiches in there. Alright, boom. Until next time.